Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Amber Moore, and this is Real Boys Talk presents to you Shooting the Shit with the Bros of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I have my bros on here, and they are going to go through and introduce themselves. If you will, old school, please introduce yourself and tell where you are.
Old school, I'm South Carolina, side chapter.
All right, and we have Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire, Alabama, Theta Chapter.
And we have Maximilian.
Maximilian. What am I? Gamma chapter. Yes. And the life member. How about those apples?
There you go. There you go. Tonight, we're going to be talking to you about what? Masculinity, toxicity, and boundaries. It's something new that's actually coming into, I don't think it's actually new, but I think we're putting more emphasis on it because we're all trying to find these healthy relationships. We're all trying to build healthy relationships. So the bros that are about to speak tonight are either in healthy relationships or are looking for healthy relationships. And so we are going to take on a couple of things. I'm going to give you what the generic definition of masculinity toxicity is for us. Masculine presenting gay female toxicity refers to harmful behavior, attitudes, and expectations within the LGBTQ community. It is targeting gay women who present themselves in a more traditional masculine manner. This toxicity, I can't talk, can manifest in various ways. So they say that this toxicity that we have manifests in stereotype and gatekeeping. It also manifests in misogyny and androgyny and body image and beauty standards, as well as microaggression and discrimination. So those are things that are just general, right? So what I would like to see, I would like to ask my bros is, what is your definition of toxicity when it comes to masculine presenting? Or what have you experienced or seen?
I can say for myself, I'll give you an example. When I travel, or even if you're in the store, if you know a couple when you see it, and I think I was going to say it's mostly younger masculine presenting, but it's been across the board. But there's you can say, hey, how you doing, fam, or something. They don't speak, or they speak begrudgingly. And so I'll give an example. At the event last week, I thought this person was very unfriendly. And I ain't saying everybody got to be outgoing, but I noticed there were some other things going on with this person, or that I had heard about. But it's when you're not supportive of your mate, when you're not supportive of your friend, your partner. I consider that to be toxic. When you want to be competing with your partner instead of everybody coming up together. Because everybody has different levels. That's the other thing. All this, what do you bring to the table? Look, if the table is prepared properly, it'll happen, is my opinion. But toxicity amongst masculine presenting, it could be, a lot of it's based on insecurity, but it's pretty, it's hit or miss. But lately it's been missing. Like,
let's have the real conversation. Let's have the real conversation. It's about whose dick is bigger.
Who got the bigger balls?
That's what it's about, right?
Right.
But you touched on several things when you said the insecurity. There was another one that you mentioned in there, which also goes back to who's got the bigger balls kind of thing. And I think that pissing on your territory. I should not have to piss on my territory for you to know that's not for you. She's not going to give you the time of day. If I really have, my thing is, if I'm with somebody and she with me, I don't have to piss on my territory. She ain't going nowhere. Even if you approach her, she ain't going nowhere. So I think that there's
not that tight.
Right. But anyone else want to add to that on top of what she has said?
I think it's more of a combination of the insecurities, the the level of the table that you're on. Like Rapid Fire was saying, what do you bring it to the table? It's where your table is. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm dating a girl that's, not that I have anything wrong with this, but I'm just saying, if you're dating a girl that's in the projects or in low income housing, what are you really expecting that person to bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you creating your own toxic relationship? Especially if you're a white collar worker. You know what I'm saying? If you 6-figure, or I'll go even lower than that. If you 5-figured and you're dealing with a woman that's receiving
25,000.
Exactly. That's just like buying a car. You know what I'm saying? You buy a car, then you want to trade it in, but then you got this upside down car now because you owe more than the car that you're purchasing now is worth.
So does that go back to like, are we feeding into that, the women that I'm seeing now, you know, on TikTok where they say they can't go here, they got to go to 5-star? Are we as masculine presenting also feeding into that bullshit? I mean, because I think of it as bullshit. When you gonna tell me that on the first date I got to take you to a 5-star, but you've never been to a 5-star?
Don't put demands on me that you ain't put on a nigga before me,
or on yourself.
Or on yourself.
What makes
That's
you
my
think
thing.
that I want to take you to a 5-star restaurant? Have you shown me anything?
Here's my
I
thing.
put it on myself.
Here's my thing though. If you can't love yourself that way,
then don't expect me to.
Why should I be expected to do that for you?
Right.
That's my thing.
It's that I want to be kept, but you don't know. You would not know how to be kept if you've not kept yourself.
Exactly.
And during the first phases of dating or getting to knowing someone, like spending that type of money just to ask you questions about yourself, getting to know you. You know what I'm saying?
They're
like,
going to picnic lunch.
Yeah, let's go to a coffee house or something and have some coffee, or shit. Me and my wife, our first date, we went to Chili's. We went to Chili's and had cocktails and appetizers. Like that was our first date, and we just sat and talked all night.
And it should be that way because that's how it's not about where I take you. It's what happens when we're together there. Right. So we should be able to be in any kind of space. So the toxicness that we bring to the table, do you think that also has to do with how we have been in past relationships as well? Like we bring in that luggage with us, like people who go, I got hurt in a relationship, I didn't heal, I'm going to, like, I jumped from a relationship to relationship to relationship and always blaming somebody else for what I'm going through.
But see, the thing is though, after every failed relationship, I believe you have to take time to heal from it. Deal with what parts you played in it, what parts that other person played in it, and what am I going to do to resolve it within myself to make me a better person.
So,
you know? and a lot of us, like you said, I'm saying just generally, be it heterosexual or lesbian, don't take time to heal from prior relationships. So you bring in all of that baggage from 10 relationships ago because you've been going in and out of relationships every 3 months.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to find the right one, but you have to be the right one for somebody else in order for somebody else to be the right one for you. Because you got to know you first.
That is true.
And so you're bringing all of that baggage into these new relationships and expect it to be love at first sight type shit.
And okay, so So do you mean that we as masculines and that toxicness is that we're more wanting you to give of yourself to me and we'll learn who we are later.
Yeah,
It's like
because
that. What
I
is
mean,
that?
because you
My
find
famous
that
saying is, I knew your pussy before I knew your name.
exactly,
Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
So
As long as the sex on the first date is the bomb.com, now you my girlfriend, and now you got a label of wifey next week, and the week after that we can't even stand one another because I didn't realize that you a hoe, I'm a hoe. You know, everybody getting it, and so it ain't special. It's just you know how to squeeze your pussy tight.
oh,
Squeeze the
I
pussy
can't feel it
tight.
no way because it's on the strap.
Bruh,
What is it gonna do me?
who hurt you?
Bro, listen,
it's
it
the
ain't
truth.
that.
So
It don't
basically,
even
there's
have
not
nothing to do
really
with who hurt me. It's the fact that I've realized all of this shit.
okay. So
You
let
know
me
what I'm
ask you
saying?
this. So when we say, what do you bring to the table? Does a woman who brings just her pussy to the table make us more toxic?
Hell yeah.
Does it?
Sometimes,
No, does no,
sometimes,
no, no, no,
sometimes,
no.
Because sometimes
Does
that's
it?
all that woman can bring to the table is her pussy.
and,
That's
and
all she
But
got.
sometimes
but
that's
see,
all the date.
but
That's all
see,
the
here's the
the
thing
masculine.
though.
That's all the dominant woman wants too. But see, then they get.
Yeah, it
Then they
depends
get
on what the expectations are, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
if all you're bringing is your pussy, then you need to find someone that all they want to do is smash. There are really there are masculine presenting lesbians who are seeking long-term commitments and long-term relationships.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sex on the table. Yeah, that's good. But what about that conversation?
What else?
What
What
about that
else?
credit
What else?
score? Do you have a 401k? Do you understand stocks and bonds and purchases like that? All of that to IRAs,
So
CDs.
if you notice that there are studs out here that there are some out here that are so toxic that they're looking for what they can get from that female, like money. They want this, some of this. I mean, we haven't never like it's not been put out there, but of course we know there are some studs out there that want to live off you. They want to, they want to move into your apartment. They don't have no car. They want to use your car, things of that nature. How do we how do we try to change that? Because some women are going to come to you automatically thinking you like that, you know, and they're going to be like, oh, well, you want this, you want that. So how do we build or this? I don't know what the word is. Is it this? What's the word I want to use? Get rid of or offset
Dismantle.
that type of mindset.
Or disprove it. Maybe
Yes,
you don't have
that's
that
the word.
mindset.
Disprove it.
Yeah.
Is there ways that we can disprove a woman who thinks, or from those studs that have put in these women's mind that all we out here for is for them to take care of us? We come with only one bra, sports bra. They got the Nike swoop on, and that's
Right.
it. We ain't got no phone. We ain't got no, really no real piece of job. We part time and all of those things. How can we change those kind of misconceptions?
I think like for the masculine identified genders, I think that if we're not there and like we don't want, if that's all that we're looking for, then that's all that they're going to give us, if that kind of makes sense. But if we are upping our standards as to what we're bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, if how, basically, how can I expect you to lift me or bring me up if I ain't doing nothing to bring myself up?
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying when I say lift the standards within ourselves. You know, because not all masculine identify. I mean, we got oceans of masculine identified females that have great jobs.
That is so true.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have some that's like the scum of the earth. But that's even with heterosexual relationships.
That's true.
So it's all about where you want to go in life and how you are going about it to get there. And if you're not doing nothing with your life, but wanting to live off of somebody else, that's as far as you're going to go. Raise your standards for yourself.
What are some common misconceptions or stereotypes that are out there that we are facing when it comes to when women meet us? What are some of those that you guys have encountered or have heard or have even had conversations about of misconceptions or stereotypes about us that
Baby, I have some stories. Listen.
Let's hear them, Max. Let's hear them.
So I am naturally flirtatious. That is just my personality. I have always been like that. It is, listen, I don't do it on purpose. It just happens. But there was this rumor that was going around in my early Greek years. That like I was this player. Like I had all these girls around, like I was sleeping with a whole bunch of people and stuff like, and that was literally the furthest from the truth. Like 100% furthest from the truth. Cause like if I was dating someone, I was committed to that person until like we broke up. Like then, whatever. But like it wasn't like no 6, 7, 8 girls. Like they played it out to be, and that was a misconception. And I'm like, and I missed out. And to be honest, I missed out on a lot of opportunities because of that as well. Because of that misconception that I was a player, like I just used people and stuff like that. And that was literally the furthest from the truth.
So rumors or some hater basically put out a rumor or put out something about you that makes the toxicity that people put on you to say, oh, that hey, Max is toxic or what have you. In fact, that wasn't the case. Being kind can sometimes be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, and like not only that, like it's a lot of other things too, because I remember there was a point in time we lived in the ghetto. We lived in the fucking hood, and
yes,
like when that woman got popped off, I was like, this is
it's time to
like
go.
that's how hood we was in. And I had just got hired on at my job, making $12.25, and again in the hood, poor, but me getting where I got into that, like that was my dream. I didn't care where I started. That was my dream. And yeah, you can call me bummy. Yeah, you can call me poor and all that kind of other stuff. But look at me now. I got my dream job. I stuck it out. And I think that's a lot of the other misconception is that we want to be men because we dress like men. Some women have some masculines have mannerisms like men. You know, those who wear their piece 24/7. I could never. But how do we change that perception? Because even in the straight community, like even in the cis community, you still have those grades of masculine men. You still have those different grades of masculine men. Think about it. You have the bum dude, you have the career driven one, right? You have the douchebag. We have them in our own community.
Right.
Levels of studs.
I think it's interesting. There are feminine women who will possibly take on the toxic stud because they want to make changes. They're like, I can change them, and we still have that where we have not learned that you can't change somebody. You can't save a hoe. Either a hoe want to be saved or she don't. You know, and that's the same thing with this. If you are toxic, I mean, come on, guys. We know if we toxic.
Right.
There's not a question about it. Maybe not the first relationship when we first came out, you know, when we were like 18, 19 or whatever. But by the time you hit the 30s, you know you toxic or not. You know if you're a narcissistic person, you know if you're controlling, you know those things about yourself. And you either will play on that because you think there's a woman out there that's willing to deal with that. And maybe at first it looks like she can deal with it. And she might come out and be like, hey, you know, I can deal with this and I'm going to change. I'm going to help you. But I think but also that person damages that female. And then we good guys come and meet her. And then we got to jump through 1,000,001 hoops. And I think
to prove our loyalty.
Or to prove that we're not toxic. And I'm not saying
we're not toxic and we're not like the last guy or whatever, but then we're always walking around on eggshells.
Yes. So let me ask, do you think that if you begin a relationship physical first and foremost, like the first date you met her, y'all got it in, it was that kind of sexual tension, but y'all never really talked to each other, do you think that brings toxicity into the relationship? And do you think that you can actually overcome just because y'all smashed that first date and it's very physical, it's very sexual that y'all have with each other? Will you ever be able to have conversation and actually communicate?
It can go either way.
Would you have to steer it that way, or do you think it'll naturally happen?
It's natural. Like you're compatible with whoever you're compatible with.
Now, bringing in boundaries. How do you in that, like, let's say that type of situation, because a lot of us are physical, right? We're very much into that. Things happen. You meet somebody, you like, yeah, she's fine, this, that, and the other. And that will trigger, of course, that moment of, hey, let me hit that. Are you able to still set boundaries? And what kind of what is like the first beginning of a relationship kind of boundaries do need to be set?
Don't play in my butt.
Hey, bro, you took the words right out of my mouth. That is totally off limits.
That is the first boundary.
Number one.
It's exit
that
only.
one.
It ain't the one. That ain't for you. That is not for you.
Think that you gonna strap up on me, because that ain't happening.
See, that's another thing. That's like, I don't understand. What is happening? What is happening?
You are not dicking me down. You're not slutting me out.
And I don't.
And you can give me some.
Let's go ahead and say this, guys. Let's go ahead and say this. The four of us do not get down like that. But it's not wrong if you get down like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
If you're masculine presenting and you get down like that, you like penetration, you want somebody to slut you out on that kind of level, by all means, we are like, hey, go do what you do. But the women who come out to meet us, please know we are not those. We're not.
But you can give me some head.
You can give me some head
You
now.
give me some head, but you cannot, and you can slap me out on that kind of level, but you cannot. You cannot. There's no strength.
The bottom of my paws will be on facing the ceiling.
And I mean, if a female were to come to the room and she's strapped up, I am dressed. Do you hear me? Dressed with a coat on. I am. Hello, goodbye. I'm out there.
But you know what though? But you know what I find? The fact that, well, I know for me, like after a period of time being in a relationship with previous relationships, a conversation has always came out like, I know your body is sexy. I want to see how you look in a dress and some heels. No, you'll never see that, baby.
You stupid bitch, you got to pay the fee.
But no,
you want to see me in a dress and some heels.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying role playing. I mean, like, they wanted us to go out and me wear a dress with some fucking heels. No.
Oh, no.
I'm
to our house. You know, I might fuck around. But I don't know. But look,
I'm gonna get a killer.
I mean, but if that's what you do, that's on you.
I'm a different breed.
But
I'm a different breed. You guys, again, you guys to pay. You guys to pay. If we going out in public, I need a stack off top.
Man,
you guys to pay. I'm willing to do that. Bro. I'm willing to put on a dress and some heels for a stack.
You know, now, if we living in the house by ourselves, or
you
we at home
for stack,
and the kids ain't home, and you say, "Hey, babe, let's do role reversal." Okay, I might give it some thought, but you ain't taking no pictures.
Yeah, I don't know.
You ain't taking no pictures.
Oh,
none of that shit.
And you better tell you if I do it, you better tell your friend.
Let's go back to Usher's Trading Places, okay? Let's go back to Usher's Trading Places. Think about that song. We're not doing that.
See, but there's a difference. I think that there's that level. Yes, I would trade. Now that definitely I would do. We doing the Trading Places. Yes. Do I physically need to look like you look? No. I still roll like I roll. You roll like you roll. But we can definitely trade those spaces, those places. And I think, and then there's that aggressiveness. Sometimes it's super sexy for a woman to approach you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't have those kind of boundaries. Now I am about that. I ain't about to put on. I'm not really in. Now my mother can get me in a dress, but that's because she has to. It's got to be. I know if she asks me, it's super important, right? It's super, super important, and I will abide by my family if they ask me to do it. Yes,
but what do you consider super important?
It has to be like my mom is like, you know, we going to see the president, and he just I really would like for you to wear a dress. It's something like super, like if I got to go to a certain family member, like my grandmother has already passed, but if my granny's wish was for me to wear a dress to her funeral, I would have worn one. Like honestly, I would have.
I just want to know.
Yeah, it has to be something on that kind of level, but I'm not.
Make sure when that happens, Q, you take some pictures because I want to see your sex.
I'm trying to tell you because I ain't never seen it.
Let me tell you this: if my life depended on it, like they got a gun to my mama, my dad, or my son, or my head, I'm gonna wear a dress like I'm legs will be crossed. I will have on some heels. Y'all will be like, "What happened to that slut?" Yes, I will be that slut. I will do it. You not know. You threatening my family? I'm down for the crisis like that because I'm gonna protect my family. You know what I'm saying? But that's really big for me. But other than that, no.
Now, but I mean like for just somebody that you're in a relationship with, and y'all only been dating like 3 or 4 months. No, I'm not doing that.
Halloween, but that's about it.
Man, what happened? I don't even know about Halloween right now. I just met her.
Look, I have a long tuxedo skirt. And so on my mom's funeral, I did wear the skirt, but I had a vest and my tie, a men's vest, and I had my spats. So I have done that with a tie, but it's like long, like almost like a military skirt almost.
Yeah, might do a kilt or something, you know.
I'm gonna do a kilt. Wait till when you see me for Pride. Let me lose this 30 more pounds. You're gonna see me in a kilt with some badass boots.
Yeah, I might do a kilt. Yeah, but
I'm gonna do a kilt and may or may not have drawers, depending on how much.
Depending on how hot it is outside.
How much I drink and how hot it is.
I'm gonna need for you to wear some panties. I'm gonna need for you to do that.
I ain't gonna wear no panties now. I'll put some cowboy boxers on. How about that?
You need to have some undergarments. Okay. But I think that
just in case I fall and shit.
I think that the boundaries, like you said, first of all, if they have a sexual appetite that's different from your appetite, boundaries definitely have to be set.
Like you gotta have some form of conversation before you just like jump in the bed. My thing is like if I'm a smash you,
I don't know about that.
No, let me say it like this. No, hear what I'm saying. Hear me out though. First of all, if I'm gonna smash you on the first night, 9 times out of 10, you just gonna always be a smash.
She could upgrade.
Yeah, but here's my thing though. You just said that before any of that take place, a conversation need to be had, but that's not necessarily the case.
I mean, if it's a smash, it's a smash. Then ain't no conversation. But it is gonna be some form of conversation because I'm gonna be like, well, you know, what you like to do, what you like having done to you. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the type of conversation you'll have, then
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. because I've been in some situations.
Yeah, you didn't have no conversation. What time to have conversation?
No conversation. Like you experimented with each other. Like, okay, you know, like in the midst of doing things, like, okay, you know, like don't be too rough here, or, you know, no, I don't like that part. Like in the midst of like we ain't talking like it's like oohs and ahs and ums and stuff.
To the left. No.
And then the last conversation like we would have is, okay, my Uber's here or whatever. That was like in my 20s. Okay, that's not now. That was like in my 20s. You know what though?
I really need to be honest. As far as having one night stands, I think out of my whole years of living, I may have had no more than like 3. And I mean that's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? I it's got to be something there besides just a physical attraction for me.
Yeah. Can I bring up a topic?
Absolutely.
And it ties into this toxic crap.
Okay.
Y'all remember the chat lines? Them motherfuckers was toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me different because, baby, I'm, what is it? 5'5", thick in all the right places because you couldn't see them because we didn't have no video. Hazel eyes, you know.
Look like Janet Jackson.
That was, listen, them chat lines. That was catfish before catfishing was catfishing. You know what I mean? That was a different level of toxic. I will never forget.
You meet up at the Marquette. Look, you meet them up at the Marquette. You be like, they be like, I'm gonna be wearing this, and this. You see them, you don't tell them what you wearing.
I had an experience.
Like, oh, hell no.
I had an experience, and y'all remember in Friday when old girl pulled up on Smokey.
And she's supposed to look like,
and she was supposed to look like that exact same thing happened, but it was 5'5" and thick in all the right places. See, you gotta ask the right questions. What are the right places?
Where exactly is the curve at?
Hey, I remember back in the day, the Village Voice used to have the ads, and you would have to write a letter, and you would put the box number.
Oh my God!
And write a letter.
Oh God, yes.
So
And you can
in
tell
the
people
romantic,
innocent.
here you go with the one night stand. So we hook up, right? I go over to Harlem. She made a bomb. Now she could cook now. Yo, so we hung out. So then I sent the card like, oh, it was nice, blah blah blah. Well, her cousin was her girl. I said, damn.
Oh my God.
And all the girl could say was that I sound like a white girl and a so and so. And I say, hey, I was in your bed, dude. I didn't know that.
You got nice sheets. That's a nice thread count. Really?
But she cooked now. That shit was good as hell. I had 40 with it.
Just savage.
But you gotta remember, we was younger.
Played video games with the kid. That was the bad kid.
I was your kid's stepmama for a few hours.
They liked me. The son, we got along well.
And your kids, I'm gonna say, kids will tell on you. Those kids will tell on mama brought this new stud, auntie such and such came over and be like, we ain't got no auntie such and such. We do now.
She come over every time you go to work.
Exactly. Your kids today and in the past will tell on you.
Oh, the neighbors are snitch too.
Oh yeah. Your neighbors, especially
I snuck in and out. Yeah, that was my last
they
time.
Jealous.
Yeah, that Billy's voice was dangerous.
So let's talk more about these boundaries. Are boundaries things that you set in the beginning can be changed as you get to know the person?
Yes.
Absolutely. What if you at first you were like, look, it's just you and me, and then you with that person for some years and they say they would like to make this a poly situation? Is that a boundary that you're willing to consider?
It depends on what the rules of the poly is.
Right.
And
also,
who that poly
wouldn't that be
with?
something that would be asked? So you're saying you get together because that would be something that would be asked in the beginning. Like, I'm definitely going to ask more questions.
But what if you evolve? But what if you evolve in your relationship and that's something that you're looking into?
I think at this age, there's no rules if it's mutual, and it would depend, like you said, what's the rule? I mean, what's the rules to the what is it, polyamorous?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I'm
or having an open relationship. Could you start out with not an open relationship, and then let's say you 5-6 years in and she decides, she comes to you and says, hey, I would like to have an open relationship. I mean, those boundaries you said in the beginning were like, no, I don't get down like that. I am a one person relationship kind of person. This is what I'm looking for. You are what I'm looking for. And then she says that, hey, it's not like you're not enough for me, but I want to bring somebody else in, or I want to be able to open up and be out there and do whatever I want to do too.
I can't. Because be my look, she's like, I'll be like, yeah, we can have another person, and she brings some big old dom in.
Okay, so let's just say boundaries. When you first meet her, she says she is not, she's pretty vanilla, right? She's pretty, nothing heavy. But then as you get to know her, or as you all evolve together, she goes into more wanting you to like maybe choke her, do the spanking a little bit, some hands.
First date.
Like that.
Oh, sorry. Now you see why I'm single.
I know I was dating this one girl. Everything was cool and going fine. And then one day she came over, and in the middle of sexing, like, I don't have a problem with grabbing a woman by her throat, pulling her hair, smacking her ass, throwing up against the wall. But prepare me for this shit, though. You know what I'm saying? And
not to
in the middle of sexing, she was like, grab my throat, choke me. And so I was like, cool, I can do that. But then she wanted me to like damn near choke her ass out. No, I ain't getting no murder charge. You know? And so the next time she came over, it was like, next thing you know, we were talking on her way to my house. And she was like, I'm just tired. I'm trying to start an argument, you know? And so I'm trying to figure out, you know, what the fuck wrong? You know, what are you mad about? I just had a hard day at work. Okay, cool. She come in. Next thing you know, this bitch throwing me up against the wall. No. Hold up. That ain't what we gonna do. I feel like a bitch right now. No. You know.
I think that's sexy if a femme throws you up against.
Prepare me for this shit though.
Oh. It is, but yeah, I'm with you. You like, if you mad, I don't think I'm gonna be thinking that you really want to get something or do something. You gotta can I get the eye? Can you give me the eye, you know, the little eye thing, or give me something that lets me know that that's you going. Otherwise, you want rough sex. Kind of toxic in a thought pattern of, you know, you just, you know, you get mad, you want to slam me around and then want to fuck up. Wait a minute. You know, I might not have been
she
around.
threw you against the wall to fight? Did I misunderstand?
No.
Oh, I see. Okay. But you're saying
you was on the right path.
Yeah, I mean, but you gotta prepare me for that shit.
Okay, maybe I'm a little morbid, but I wouldn't care if it was like in a sexual way or if you was trying to fight me for real. Baby, that would be a turn on. Yes. Let's mess up these walls.
I'm not saying, hold up though. I ain't saying that it wasn't a turn on. But you gotta prepare me if you coming in my room.
I don't even care. You ain't got to prepare me
up against the wall.
Listen, you ain't got to prepare. Listen, take the frying pan, hit me over the head. Yes.
Nah, that's you, bro. I give you all that.
What?
You know? I just need a little bit. Give me the eye. Just give me the, you know, the little eye thing that the women do that they let you know that hey. Just
even if I would have been fine if she was mad and she came in the door taking her clothes off. Then I know.
Okay. Then something, not just slam me up, because then I think we about to really, you know, tussle, and I might not go in the romantic moment. I might not have a sex moment with me, and it'll throw me off. I can understand that, but then also that can go back to, if you don't know that about that person, it creates toxicness within the relationship. So exactly. If you do know that they do like, you know, because some women, I've had that encounter where they like rough sex. That's what they want. There is a moment you want rough sex. It might be today I want it, next week you want it. But we have to have those. We have to know those sides of each other. You know. And again, it goes back to that talking to each other.
It's like, okay, granted, you want rough sex. You enjoy me biting on you and pulling your hair and scratching on you and putting all these marks and shit on you. But I don't like that. Really? So don't in the middle of sex biting me and leaving marks on me, drawing blood and shit. No,
you can't draw blood, but you can bite me. I'm down for the biting, but no, don't take a chunk out my skin. This is not. I'm not really a meal or snack. Not for real, for real. But you can. Yes, you can bite. Yes.
See, when you start acting like a zombie, you're gonna get punched in the throat.
But you ain't biting me to put no marks on me, bruh.
No. We're not trying to put take a chunk out. No,
I'm yellow.
No, yeah. Anything you put a hickey, a slight hickey, it's gonna show. It's gonna show.
Listen. You start acting like a zombie, you're gonna get punched in the throat. Don't play with me.
Apocalypse, not the zombie apocalypse. We got to prepare for it.
No Walking Dead, huh?
No. And I think that okay, so let me ask you this. Is there toxicness within sexual activities of people?
Yes.
It is that because we don't, and I don't mean that in relationship. I'm just saying
Sexually.
yes.
I could tell you I had one moment with a person and we were kind of I mean, I've known him for years, on and off. And so in trying to convince me to be on lockdown with her, during the process, she's like, talking all this, you missed it. This is the best you ever had, and something. I was like, hey, stop talking. Because then I was like ready to go get a sandwich after all of that. To me, when you're kind of arguing or trying to persuade somebody during the act, I don't like it.
So, but the question is, was the conversation that they were having with you, was it bringing forth a trigger in you?
It wasn't bringing forth a trigger. It was something that we had already discussed, and then you want to bring it up during this process, like us smashing. It just, I was like, enough. I was like, stop talking, and then went back to what I was doing. But yeah,
like sometimes you might want to go, we're not really having a conversation right now. This is a physical act of enjoyment. Relax, lay back, enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. So when you're trying to argue or yeah.
So I think that sometimes and I do think that we use sex as masculines. We use sex to offset our toxicness because we don't know how to communicate. So we feel like if we laying it down and we putting it down on you, we're making you sweat and we putting you to sleep and all of that, that feminine woman will not see how toxic or how unprepared unprepared we really are to be, or unhealthy we are to be in a relationship. What do y'all think?
I guess I'm struggling with the unhealthy or being toxic because as a single person, they're always like, well, why are you single? And I'm like, I don't know. The person for me hasn't come to fruition.
There you go.
The other thing is I will not, I like my peace. There are times I do get lonely, but I can no longer sacrifice peace for anything.
Amen. Yes.
But I think, going back to what Max said, or they think you're a player or this, that, and the other. If I'm friendly with somebody, they think I'm flirting.
Yes.
Like, no, if you knew my mama, you speak. When I ain't flirting. But I do feel confident, like when I went to the masquerade ball, I liked the way the dudes was pulling their chicks to them. It kind of made me feel confident because I don't be thinking about it. And then, but ain't nobody flirting. Everybody's like, oh, you got a lot of girlfriends. Where are they? Give me that number. Sheesh.
That's how I feel. Like, where they at? I'm not. Somebody said Cupid's always doing something. I am, but I'm always by myself doing it. Where's she at? So yes, I get it. People do think you got a lot of people if you stay single for too long. They think you out there playing the street. No, because somebody done shitted and pissed and all this in the dating pool. If you with somebody, stay with that person. Work it out.
But I'm gonna tell you something about the dating pool though. In order for me to find someone different, I had to do things differently.
Yes,
that's true.
I couldn't do the same. I couldn't pick up women in the same places. I couldn't have the same conversations. I couldn't dress the same. I couldn't, it was a lot of things I had to change, and it took me 2 years. I was single for 2 years. 2 years before I met my wife. And the only thing she ever asked me was my time. She never asked me for anything. She never asked me for no money. She ain't asked me for no ride nowhere. She ain't asked me to pay no bill. None of that stuff. It was 100% different from what I was used to. Like when we would go on dates, like if I asked her out, I paid. If she asked me out, she would pay. Like that's how it was. So,
and I think you're right. That right there is, I think if nobody gets anything else from tonight other than, look, our conversation is to take that piece right there, because that is boundary setting. That's also understanding that there's no toxicness in that. When you say, I had to change, I'm looking for that woman, and if I'm gonna look for that woman, or if I'm going to have that woman come into my life, because we didn't have to look for her. That was the other thing. I can vouch for Max. She didn't have to go look for her. God found them and placed them in the same realm together. So with that, I think that you're right. We have to walk different, talk different, look different, put ourselves in different spaces and places to find what we're looking for, or what we feel is what we deserve as a partner. And then, no, you won't get the trash that's in, because it's ugly out here in these streets. I want y'all to know that if you're single, it's ugly out here, and they keep trying to give us the player card back. I done got renewed about 3-4 times. I keep going, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not gonna do it. They keep trying to pull me back in. I feel like the Godfather. They keep trying to pull me in. But you're right. You do have to have a different approach all the way around. Your mindset,
especially if you're trying to find, if you're in a place in your life that you're ready to, you feel as if you're ready to find your forever person.
Mm-hmm.
You have to carry yourself in a way that will let that be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying put a note on your chest, I'm looking for my forever, because everybody now is that's their first thing. I'm looking for a lifetime commitment, and this is what I want in my life, but it's something that when I was in the heterosexual world, and my ex-husband said to me, he said, mouth will say anything, but behavior won't lie. You have to act according to what you want, what you're actually looking for, And so if I'm telling, like my fiance now, we've known each other for about going on 4.5 years now, but it's just recently, within the last 6 months, that we've been in a committed monogamous relationship. But from day one, I've told her, hey, I don't want a play relationship. You know what I'm saying? And she said the same thing, but then we went our separate ways. Shit happens in that process. You know what I'm saying? 3.5 years later, we're back together. And just like Max said, I had to grow up. I had to mature. I had to put standards on my own self in order for me to prepare myself for this person. So it's not, it's a process. You can't just wake up one morning and say, hey, okay, I'm ready to find my forever, and then meet the girl around the corner and go on smash.
That's true.
Because at the same time now, you can't forget, even though you're the masculine one, those films got plans too now.
I'm just saying, I know this much. When Q finds her forever and decides to get married, I'm gonna wear that Billy Porter outfit, the one where he had to have on in the thing. I'm definitely wearing that.
Okay.
Hey, I'm all for it. I am patient. I had to learn that. That's what I learned in 2023. I learned a lot. I learned that I have a lot of patience, that I really can be patient. As much of a spoiled brat that I am, because I am that, I am a spoiled brat. I want what I want when I want it. And if you don't want to give it to me when I want it, I don't want it no more.
Right.
I've had to learn, and I did, I had help learning that. And it was worth it. It was worth that, to be able to have that moment, to be able to be taught that I have the patience. I ain't waiting forever, but I have the patience, and it's worth it when you know that at the end of the day, or at the end of your journey, you get to start another journey with someone that will pour into you, and you can pour into her. And I have met, I won't say I haven't met those that are out there. I have met a few ladies that are very much just that. They're ladies. They got a lot going for themselves. They are a lot, just like I'm a lot. So time framing is a lot on that too. And there's boundaries that I'm having to actually learn from, that they have put in place, because their time, they are busy women. So, just being their friend, just knowing them, I still have to abide those kind of boundaries. So I think that there are, for us as masculines, those of us who have gotten past our toxicness and have healed, and now have new playbooks, basically, on what we want, we're going to have to go back and look at those that don't, and call them out. Some of these ladies need to be real serious. When you fucking with somebody ain't got no big dick energy, don't rib them to think that they do.
Let me ask a question. I want to ask a question. Do we truly 100% heal, or do we just recognize our triggers and understand how to maneuver?
I think you heal some parts of it, and then you understand what triggers you. And what happens is, as you are healing something, this would, like, let's just say, I'll use myself as example. Kay, I had to heal from that, because I couldn't say goodbye the way normal people end a relationship. So I had to struggle with that, and it affected the relationship that I got into. Didn't realize it, but it did. So once I realized that I could heal from her, and then what happened? I found something else that was a trigger. So I had to understand what that was, and decide how to deal with it. I think you're right. It's not all totally healing completely. It's learning how to deal with each layer that you peel. Some of it will heal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would like some of it will heal, but I can speak for myself. The whole time I was in therapy, the last 2 years, there are things to deal with the triggers, how to deal with people who continue to press those triggers. But I have to look at it just like medication. You got to have, what do you call it? Mental maintenance.
Mm.
So it's not about, I think when you know what those things are, and you do go through for me, I'm required mental maintenance, because I'm such a, empath would be. I'm all about energy. And so I have some things, but that's a huge part of the healing or having to deal with it. Also, in setting realistic boundaries. Because I had
yourself or for others?
No, for myself, because I have to take care. I can't worry about what somebody else is doing. I'm willing to give most people, and even playing field. But I know I have to set boundaries for myself. And man, when you start saying no, so that's part of the healing process, because I don't want to get into the mindset that has gone on. So
I think that you heal from certain things, but then there are things that you don't know whether you've healed from them or not until you get into another relationship. If that kind of makes sense, because like,
okay,
I know that if I say, okay, well, I believe that this situation, that situation, I've worked on it, and I've worked on myself to where I feel that I'm healed from it. But then when I get into another relationship and it's a different type of trigger, but it triggered and it took me back to the relationship that I thought I was healed from, if I'm making any sense.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I thought I totally healed from that. I took the time, I did the work. But now why is this person able to bring this back?
So maybe that is the case that you're still, I don't never think you're actually, it's like, and I hate to say it like this, it's like people who say they're saved. I don't think you're saved, because every day you working towards getting that, you know what I'm saying, to being a better Christian. So for me, I think I'm not healed. I'm healing. I'm every day you find something about yourself that I can honestly say, I've got this out the way. I've made accountability for what I played in this. And then it's like asking somebody if they over their ex. I'm over the relationship with my ex, but you can never take away how I felt about that woman.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that heart, there's a special place in my heart for several different women. Am I gonna still fuck with them? No, I'm not. They're called ex for a reason. But they have that space. Now, the woman that future woman I'm gonna be with, there's a space for her own space. Does that mean that she needs to worry about these other women that I've been with? No, but you got to understand, I'm over the relationship with them. But you can never tell somebody you can't love that person, because you did. If you truly loved the person that you were with, it'll always be there. It doesn't mean you want to act on it. Doesn't mean you understand that person is not the one for you, but the relationship that you had, you loved that person at that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So I think that is a big thing. And I think for us, I think we all carry a little sprinkle of toxicity, but there's some that is very dangerous, right? There's some of us out here that are super toxic, that it is dangerous. Because I don't want to control anyone. So that's something that there are some toxic people that's what they want to do. They carry a little bit of that narcissistic with them. And I think it is our job, like we're doing tonight, is to talk about it and share some of our experiences and have those conversations so that people can hear. We might not have given somebody might say, well, they didn't give us any solutions. It wasn't really for us to give you solutions. It's for you to understand there's other people out there that have been through it. We still are going through it, and we are building we're building and growing as we accomplish these little things as we go through life. Anyone else have anything else they want to say about being toxic or boundaries? Any advice that you want to give that has helped you in terms of being, so that you're not toxic, or that how to get out of something that's toxic? No.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge. People who know that they're toxic will not acknowledge it. But I think if there are certain things you really, everybody's not perfect. And so you got to acknowledge, sometimes I tell a bad joke, and just recently, and the chick did not think it was funny. And so, hey, my bad. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're sensitive. No, my bad. I have to be cognizant.
Now I want to hear the joke.
Yeah. I want to hear the joke now, bro.
You can tell us it when we.
It wasn't. I said it as a joke. I don't want to say it on here, but
okay. You can tell us when you see us. We want to know what the joke was,
or you can just cut when the recording's done.
You can tell us then. Max, you had something.
Yeah, I did have something. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah, sorry, Max.
See, my brain don't be working right.
It's all right. It's all right. So we're gonna go ahead and close out tonight. Tonight we talked about toxicity, masculine presenting toxicness, as well as boundaries. Basically, I mean, we all know that we have we have some toxic moments. We've had some. We've all those of us on here, we've learned enough about ourselves and we've grown so that we can talk about it. And I agree with my bruh. If you can't talk about you being possibly toxic or even recognizing it, then you're not ready. You're not ready to really truly be in a relationship with someone. And we do need to have those moments of maybe not healing, but getting on the path of taking responsibility and accountability of our past relationships. That way you're not carrying so much luggage when you go into the next relationship. Go ahead.
I do want to say, when you're talking about boundaries, whatever boundaries you have before you entered into a relationship, hold on to those boundaries, especially if it's healthy boundaries.
Okay.
You know, and be able to admit when you're wrong.
And that's a big one I think for masculine presenting women to admit when we're wrong. I think that that is a very difficult thing.
It is.
And I'll say, I think that's because we step in the masculine shoes and not in the masculine energy.
Yeah.
So if I step in masculine energy, I can very much say, hey, I fucked up. I did wrong there. But
My bad. Yeah.
When you step in masculine shoes, then that is when you have that position of people giving you you're a man. You have to do the manly thing. You got to be man decisions. And then that, I think that muddies the water.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But so that's one thing that I really wanted to say about boundaries. Hold to them, especially if they're your own personal boundaries.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, hold to them. Don't compromise with them. And if you're deciding to compromise, have that conversation and make sure it's healthy.
Exactly. Because if you give up your boundaries and you're uncomfortable giving up your boundaries and you're doing it because you go, oh, I got to be with her, and you're settling.
It's going to make things toxic.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so tonight, I hope everybody got something. Again, you know how we do. Once you listen to us, take this offline, have this conversation with your friends, add some films in this conversation because they talking about it. So we're talking about it. You have been on here with us. We are shooting the shit with the brothers of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated through Real Boys Talk podcast. We enjoyed it. We will be back. And thanks, bros, for joining me. And we're going to go ahead and call it a night.
See, bye.
Oh, wait.